I have a hard time being vulnerable, and I think the whole pregnancy and then birth, it sometimes I feel like it turns your skin outside, like everything that touches you, even the air, you can like feel it, and you feel so exposed, and you feel so and that's the time where you need the most trusted doctors, the most trusted people, like. But sadly, like, that's not the state in India, like. That's not like. It's really sad.
Welcome to the Birth Agni podcast, the fire that births us and transforms us. This is a space where women reclaim birth on their own terms, where deep ancient knowing meets primal courage. We talk birth, womanhood, breastfeeding, parenting, and the quiet power of choosing differently, choosing of our own. Come as you are, leave more rooted. I'm Divya Kapoor, a childbirth educator, lactation counselor, trainee traditional midwife, and doula, disintegrating the politics of birth, one story at a time. We have with us today Kriti, who, along with her husband Ashish, moved to the hills of Almora to build a slower life. Their farm stay, Slowness Himalayas, was birthed there, where they offer an immersive experience in slow farm life, fresh cooked meals, natural dyeing workshop, yoga, hikes, and more. Along the way, they decided to expand their family, and the journey from there on to the decision of birthing at home is shared here in the part 1 of the episode today. I immensely value that they chose me to support them in their journey. Let's hear from Kriti how it all went by. Welcome, Kriti, to the podcast.
Thank you, Divya. So cool to be on the podcast that I've been hearing.
I'm so delighted to have you. In fact, I'm going to start with the time that you and Ashish, as a young, couple, decided to come to a farm up in the hills and have a life that's built on sustainability and start your own resort and everything. And when we are young, we don't know much about birth, and then you give birth and you realize how different it is. So what was that difference that you realized from the time that you were young and to the time that you decided to have a baby, and then when you had a baby, what is it about birth that you learned along the way?
Thank you, Divya, for having me, first of all. And this is a beautiful space you have created, so amazing and so needed. And your podcast, Birth Agni, is um, Southeast Asia's birth podcasts gem. Like, really, like, the stories are so rare with women from Southeast Asia that, your place becomes the only place where I got some solace that, there are women like me, women like us. So, yeah. And to answer your question, I think we wouldn't have had a baby if we were in the city. Both of us, like, did not want to have a baby. We got married, and I used to run a startup. Ashish was a full time traveler, and we met at this place called Bundi in Rajasthan while traveling. He was running a cafe there. I used to run a travel company. So, yeah, I used to go to these smaller places to recce some old Havelis where the guest could stay and things like that. And that's where we met. And that's where the life, I think, as you know, it started taking a turn. I met him and we were both young, and he had all of these ideas that, I have been traveling for 3 years, and, uh, I would prefer living in a small town or a village than a big city. And as challenging as it sounded back then, it sounded more exciting to me. And I thought, yeah, why not? Like, I could do that. And we got married on, I think, 6th May And on 26th May, after 20 days, we moved to a village.
Wow.
So I think it was not something that we really thought and, decided very carefully. We kind of went with the flow. We were both adventure seekers at that time, and you know how being a mum kind of takes all of these words out of your vocabulary: adventure seeker, traveler. So yeah, but we moved and we started a life, and coming to a village itself teaches you a lot. We live in such contrasts in India. My God, cities are something else. Rural India is something else altogether. So all of that was a learning, and trying to, yeah, grow our food and trying to start a, a slow pacer life. Um, I think it came slowly, 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 and steadily to me, to both of us actually. And then, yes, 5 years down the line, sitting together on, you know, one rainy day and thinking that, yeah, we could have a baby,
Yeah.
like this place deserves a kid, it deserves this third energy that, yeah, we could do it. And so, yeah, we wouldn't have had a baby if we were in the city for sure. It was not something that I would have done, or the Ashish I knew back then would have done. But we moved and we did all of this, and we lived at such a beautiful place, and we live in such a calm and peaceful space that we started craving, for a kid. It's weird that I'm saying it out loud, but we did. Both of us started talking about it, and yeah, that's how uh, Vera came to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you imagine birth back then when you were just thinking about having a baby? And of course, nature, I think, brings you to a place where you do want to then be one with nature, like in all aspects. So, um, yeah.
True, true. When you live, I think so, in so close quarters with nature, like, and not just living, next to a park, or you know, having a small place to grow food. By close with nature is, what I mean is to be exposed with the harshness of nature as much as exposed to the love of nature. You know, I think at that with that closeness with nature, I think comes a lot of mind shifts over the years. Over the past 6 years, we have seen our mind really shift from one way of thinking to another, and settle down at some place where, you don't have to again pick up your mind again and, run with it, race with it, because it's now sitting quietly. So I think when we started thinking about it, we always knew that we will not go to a city to have Vera. Um, I don't know, like, I don't know. It was not like I'll have a baby at home. Not at all that too. It was only like, yeah, we could do it at Almora, or we could do it at Haldwani if the things didn't go really well. But we never wanted to go to Delhi and Chandigarh, where my in laws were living, and Delhi, my sister lives there, and never really wanted to go as far. So that was the only thing I knew, and everything else was new.
Yeah. And then came the experience of pregnancy. How was it?
It was incredible. Yeah. I mean, I miss it every day. Now that, you have a growing child, you're like, oh, wow, those were the days. Right. So, pregnancy, I think the first 3 months were I had a little bit of sickness, not much though. I did not vomit much, but a little bit of food sickness. So, my mom came, and she cooked for me for some time. I think she was with me for 10, 15 days, and then Ashish is a brilliant cook, and he would cook. So yeah, the time kind of went by, and I had a very active pregnancy, because I think walking around the farm also and walking uphill and downhill, living in the hills is pretty common. And I heard these beautiful stories, from my house help, and even if I went to a neighbor's house from an ama, and any of the neighbor women who would come to visit me, everybody would tell, oh yes, we were going to the Dhara. Dhara is the nearest place where women would go to get water. We would go to the Dhara and, bring like a lot of water on their heads. And while we were 9 months pregnant, kind of talked about it with a coming from, I think, from a lot of strength, looking at it from strength, then looking at it from this angle where women have to keep sitting down, and very fragile. And so yeah, those were the stories that I kept hearing. And I really wanted to be in that group, then be in this group. So that happened. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so the stories of birth around me were powerful, were coming from a point of strength more, than a weakness. So yeah, I think that was a good part.
Yeah.
And I was working till the last day. I am a natural dyer, so I do a lot of workshops at my studio. And yeah, it gave me so much. I would sit down on all my fours and do some kind of flower placement on the fabric. And if the guests are women and they have had children, they would look at me and they'll say, wow, you look like you're ready. And that would make me feel so proud, like, yes, yeah, I can. Now
Oh,
I'm walking so much and everything is happening, this looks nice.
yeah.
And so it was actually pretty good.
Yeah. And then there was a hospital, I think, that was 2 hours away from your place.
Yes, yes.
In Yeah.
Yeah,
So how was that experience, and how did you decide early on? I mean, to go, and then everything else around it. Like, what were your thoughts?
I think the nearest hospital to us in a small town was about an hour and a half from here. And we go to this town quite often, and we used to cross this hospital many times. So that was the only hospital we knew. So the moment we did our home tests, the P test. I think the very next day or after 2 days, we went to the hospital. And the experience, as you already know, but yeah, it was, it became scarier in every visit I went to. Like, for example, I think we went there for 6 visits, 6 or 5. And with every visit it kind of kept becoming scary and scary and scary. And it was so contrast, because I was living at a place where uh, women around me and the energy around me, especially about birth, was so so powerful and so strength driven, and that women would do it themselves. And उस जमाने में क्या होता था, कोई डॉक्टर नहीं थे पहाड़ों में, तो we would just hang a rope from the roof and like tug on it, like 4 or 5 times, and deliver
Wow.
our babies. And then I would go to the hospital, and the doctor would be like, no, no, this is like a precious baby. And I know that she would look at us and she assumed that we drank, we smoked, because we did not look like a small town couple, like and she was like, you're also 34, so, and you must be doing all of these things. And so yes, yes, you need ECG injections every I think every week for the first 3 months was her suggestion. For the first 2 months, 2 3 months, like that. And then we will continue you on the progesterone starting from month 4. I mean, now that I think about it, because I didn't do it, now that I think about it, had I done it, like, I don't know what would have happened, Divya.
It wouldn't have been this blissful
because progesterone plays with your body. It's the hormone that's already being produced. So the first 3 months become tough because of the hormonal shift.
Yeah.
And then if they give you progesterone over and above, just because of your age, you don't need it, assuming that probably your body will not make enough just because you're a certain age without really checking your numbers. Now, there can be a diagnosis. You can just take a blood test, check the serum progesterone levels, and then decide whether or not this mother is a candidate for that or not. But yet, yes, it is happening that many women are being put on progesterone preventively for no reason, and it does play with your mind more than anything. It becomes tougher. I mean, you vomit quite a lot, you start feeling all the awful symptoms of pregnancy. Yeah, thankfully you didn't take it, touch wood.
Yeah. But I did end up taking those injections, like
Yeah.
um, having not known, not being able to take that step where as first time moms, like I don't know, this generational fear that I would say my mom has, like put into me, like you just don't know what to say to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like so yes, I went to her, and um, she kind of first shushed our excitement. There was no, oh yes, oh please
Oh god.
sit. She was like, what? No, you might not even be pregnant, please stop, don't get any excited at all on the first visit. Do not google anything, and you might not, this might not even be happening to you. So we're just going to do a test, and after 2 days you will know. And like, okay. And then we came back home, and then after 2 days we went and we were. And she said, you would need those injections. We're like, okay. And I don't even know now why I took them, but I did. And being in a village, in a remote village to say the least, there's no doctor around me, there's no nurse around me, there is no PHC around me. The nearest public health center is 25 minutes from us, and I had to call a guy to get me that injection, especially every week. And it was such a big hassle. And now I feel like why was that one thing that we did not question?
Yeah, probably because we go with the mindset that the doctor is going to help us.
Yes.
And that's the expectation. So we follow in as long as it seems all right before the bells ringing in our head. And so yeah, it's very yeah, it's natural. With with Divi, I did all of the things that the doctor said.
Yeah.
Um, and despite the red flags, I presumed that probably it's me and not her.
Yeah. My God, yeah. I mean, and I have a hard time being vulnerable, and I think the whole pregnancy and then birth, it sometimes I feel like it turns your skin outside, like everything that touches you, even the air, you can like feel it, and you feel so exposed, and you feel so and that's the time where you need the most trusted doctors, the most trusted people, like but sadly, like that's not the state in India, like that's not like it's really sad, but yeah.
The entire shift of having women go to the hospital in the rural villages, I mean the rural areas rather, um, you experienced that. You saw that in the women around you, and I think one of the times you did explain it to me as well. How did you like? What was it like?
Women here have had women in the rural villages in Himalayas, and I would say everywhere in India, in the rurals, have had babies at home for for centuries, like centuries and centuries. And you can hear the confidence in their stories, in their voice, but then there is this fear that is you know, starting to show now a little bit. And they don't want to stay at home anymore. They kind of silently urge you to go to the hospital. नहीं, घर पे नहीं ना, आप हॉस्पिटल ही जाओ, घर पे नहीं, हॉस्पिटल ही जाओ, हॉस्पिटल ठीक होते हैं. तो yeah, this that was something coming from women who have had 6 children all at home, but urging their neighbors or their own daughter-in-laws to, not have children at home. A lot of it has come from the governments, slowly and steadily. Governments are kind of pushing hospitals, which I would say in many cases is not entirely wrong. Mm, but you know how it is, like everybody comes in that bracket then. Like, you everybody's boxed in your attempt to, box a few, you kind of start to box everything in, and you take away the instinct in that. It's hard to explain, but here in the villages now, everybody prefers a hospital. It is amazing to see everybody prefers a hospital. And you have to understand, Divya, that the nearest hospital here is not 2 minutes walk from your apartment. The
Yeah.
nearest hospital from here is, say, 30 minutes, which is also a PHC, a very small facility that government provides, where there would be a one basic doctor. There will be one room usually which will have some equipment, and there usually is one ambulance which would be able to take you to
To
a
the
bigger
next.
specialty if needed. The bigger specialty might be 2.5 to 3 hours away. So you know isn't this like amazing? Why, when you can cultivate, you know instinct at a place like this, where transition to hospital, 100% transition to hospitals might not even be a good solution.
Yeah. It sounds scarier than being at home, because
Yeah,
even if it's a risk, the it's so with risk, it said you should have something at least like within like 15-20 minutes,
yeah,
best within 5 minutes, 2 minutes,
yeah,
real emergency, and then they should have the facility to really have an ICU where the mother can be stabilized if she needs to, where the
mm.
baby can be stabilized if there's an NICU.
It's just a you know it's a basic facility, and a good one. I wouldn't say that a basic facility place, a hospital does not have the basic things, but you can't compare them to a multi-speciality like hospital, like, the image of a big hospital that you have in your mind. So yeah, no.
Yeah. And then when is it that you decided that you'd like to take the leap and then probably see better, like learn more about birth? And
Yeah, I was doing the regular things, Divya. Get the NB/NC tests, all of those things done, and getting all the scans right. And the nearest scan place from my house is 3 hours. I have to go to Haldwani to get all of these scans. So, we would drive in the morning. We'd leave at 6 in the morning to reach the hospital at 9:30, and because we have booked a slot for 10:30. So all of that was happening, and there was this one test that a scan report came, and I went to my current doctor, the doctor that I had back then, and then she did some kind of ultrasound at her facility, which she took the report out, and she was like, you'll have to go to the bigger city to get this scan done, because this doesn't look right. She said something like
mm,
that. These figures that don't look right. And uh, then Ashish got a little, skeptical. He was like, what figures? Like, what figures? You cannot even perform scan here because your facility is so small. And then he came home, and he kind of took out the paper, and he went online, and he was like, what number is he talking about? And there actually was nothing. There was no number. We went ahead and we got the scan done. We went to the doctor, and we actually did not go to the doctor then. We just called her. Ashish called her, and Ashish was like, these are the numbers. Are they now okay? Yeah, they are okay. You should come and see me. Then Ashish kind of just got annoyed and asked, then why did we go? to get this scanned in, what was not right at your hospital. And she got annoyed, like,
Yeah.
um like really annoyed, and she was like, you should come and see me if you want to. If you don't want to, then don't come and see me. And she
Mhm.
hung up the phone, and Ashish got a little hunch that this is not going in the right direction. He was like, Kriti, you don't have to be scared, but this feels very shady, because these were the numbers that she couldn't have drawn from her small scan machine, and now we have these numbers and everything is normal. And we kind of, and for us, going to a hospital was also a hassle. It was 1.5 to 2.5 hour away, and then sometimes there would be traffic. Sometimes, if it's the summer season, which it was, which is a season in the Himalayas, like a lot of people flock and they travel
Yeah.
to the hills, and then the roads are usually, especially the state highways, are usually crowded. So it was a hassle, and we thought, okay, let me try to find a doctor online. I spoke with my sister-in-law, and I said that, can there be a doctor in Chandigarh that I can just send these reports to, and she can tell me if everything is all right. She was like, yeah, this very easy, like, I'll do it. And then she hooked me up with one of the doctors, and I used to send her a report, and she would talk to me in one line: this looks fine, and then keep the phone
Yeah.
down, because I wouldn't know. She was like, you have any question? I was like, no, I know nothing. Like, I don't have any question. Like, I have simple questions like, is it okay? Is it going fine?
Yeah.
I feel amazing. Like, but nobody's telling you that, right? They're all talking in numbers, and all of these NB NC that you, when you kind of Google them, they have these weird abbreviations, and nobody's talking to you as a pregnant woman who just wants to be happy, just wants to be left alone. But no, like, all of these terms, and all of these abbreviations. Like, one day, Divya, I sat and I wrote all of them down, tick, 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 and I googled each of them and I wrote them down, and I kind of like read them. There were 20 abbreviations, like, the terms that they were using. Like, it's like talking to machines.
Right. It is. It's sad. I mean, yeah, women should be. I mean, your questions must be as simple as, can I do this? I feel really great. Can I continue? Maybe some days I feel slightly dizzy. Is it okay? And yeah, if everything is going well, then, what else? And yeah, I mean,
Yeah, what are they trying to save? Like, it's like they are trying to save this delicate bomb, like, which will just, you know, blast if they leave one string attached to it. Like, they have to, like, they're operating on you from day one. It is They're operating on your mind from day one. You know, it's not as simple. It was not simple at all, and I think that's what made us, think about a shift. We don't come from mindsets where we we if we are doing it natural, we knew it from day one. Nah, we did not know. We were pushed in that direction, literally,
yeah,
like, because we felt like being operated on, like, all the time, wherever we went.
yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Manipulated, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did you come across the idea of childbirth education and classes?
So Meenakshi Saharan. She,
I know.
I admire her a lot. She's very brave, raising three kids, three beautiful children. I had the honor of meeting her two children. She was with us at the place for their first birthday. And then uh, I think I heard her speak about, her third baby somewhere. And I think on YouTube, somewhere on a podcast or a video vlog, something. And it was very brief, and then I spoke with her, and she said, yeah, she had her little angel at home, and it sounded so peaceful and so simple. And she was like, yeah, you can, read about it more. First, read about it more, and then let me know if you have any questions. So she was the first person that um, kind of nudged me slowly into that direction. And of course, the doctors were were the first people who pushed us into that direction. But yeah, Meenakshi was the second who I knew had a natural birth. And as scary as it sounded back then, but it still made more sense than, you know, being told that this is wrong, that is wrong, this will be wrong, this can be wrong, and all of those wrongs that they play with. There's nothing right.
Yeah. I'm not coming from a slate of everything is going right. Probably this could need more attention. We'll just look at it. I mean, making it lighter for the mother. Not every pregnancy is high risk. In fact, majority of them are not.
Hmm.
Some of them definitely, like you said, might need the PHC more through the pregnancy,
Yeah,
might need the care of the bigger hospital more. And it's great that we have them. I can't
yeah,
imagine a time where some women who did need the facility didn't have it and had to run around and think
yeah,
about. But at the same time, like you were saying, boxing everybody into the same bracket. No,
yeah,
it's sad.
yeah.
Yeah. And thereon, how did the journey go?
We switched doctors. We did not go doctor free immediately. We talked to some people locally, and they suggested us one other doctor who was, you know, not coming from the state of so much fear. That's what I heard, and I went to her, and we felt good. We're like, no, she's not telling us that this is wrong, that is wrong, no unnecessary scans, and yeah, everything is good. And all right, I would keep studying the natural thing on the side, but I would also keep going to. I'm a Libran, and I always feel like as a Libra, I have this tendency to kind of
Balance.
balance everything, and I don't want to leave that thread also. I don't want to go all deep into this also, and let me just be in the center and see how everything works around me. And so I kept going to that doctor. She was good. We did not need to go every month. She would be like, it's okay, you can come 1.5 month, that's okay. You don't have to be here every month, you can come in 2 months. So, and the progesterone was cancelled. She said, no, you don't need it, it's okay.
Fantastic.
And we were like, great, like this is working for us. And we had so much time. And then I started reading more about the natural birth. And um, I saw your podcast. I heard all of them, like I think I think all of them,
Wow.
really. And I sent so many to Ashish to hear, like, you have to, tonight you're going to hear this one, then this one, then this one. And they kept pouring and pouring, and he was like, who is this Divya? Why don't you talk to her once? Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Sweet.
So that's how, like, then I spoke to Minakshi again. She was like, yeah, yeah, I know Divya, and yes, you should speak with her and see if you want to take classes and have a guide in this journey if you are really thinking about it. And honestly, Divya, I was not really thinking about it. I just wanted to, see that how it felt, and is it the direction for us. And no, I didn't think I could do it even at month 8. No, I think we came to you at seventh, seven and a
Yeah,
half.
somewhere around that. Yeah. 33, 34, I think.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And then we started the classes. And to say the least, they were transformative, and they were amazing. And you were very cool about a lot of things. You kept things very simple, and the classes were for both Ashish and I, which was wonderful, which I think is needed, because Ashish was already like really highly involved uh, in my pregnancy, and then he wanted to be there in the birth. So yes, that's how it started. I the only thing I did was, I shouldn't have done, I don't know, but I consumed a lot of content, like apart from your podcast, I was hearing the Free Birth Society, then a lot of things on YouTube also. And because I knew that I had started thinking about home birth, or an alternate birth at very late, like after 30 weeks, 32 weeks. So I thought that I felt like I have less time, and like a lot of information that I need to kind of put
Yeah.
in to make a better decision, or to be able to do what I wanted to do. So yeah, I think the last months went like that.
It's rational to do that, I'd say. It's very
Yeah.
rational to think about, yeah, I have less time and I'd like to go and take a deep dive. And I think in a way it's good. And whenever you feel like, okay, I don't want this, okay, just, yeah, leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So we were speaking, and there's of course, like in my classes, I never force a decision on my parents. It's very, it's I try from my level best to keep it as neutral as possible, because there's a place of intuition. If a mother feels very intuitively to go to the hospital, that's for her. It's not my place to decide for them, because there are so many things that happen. And in fact, the very recent case was my friend's, and she birthed her first one in a birth center, almost birthed the baby at home, had the pushing urge, and then went to the birth center, which was 50 minutes away. So she kind of held the baby in all through, and then went there and had her baby in the next 45 minutes. So that was the first experience. The second, they constantly had this, the husband had a dream, they had someone tell them a story about something, and then there were really real issues with the growth of the baby. They took the informed choice of going to a hospital really towards the end, and that was for them. It was
Mm.
the right driven choice, although at first the protective self, that she's my friend from the college, and we were like roommates all through, so it's more like sisters, the four of us. So I was slightly protective, but I had to balance myself and go grounded and say, if your intuition is really driving you, that's the best for you, and I'm here if you want to really ask me anything that comes up along the way. So just wanted to highlight that, because I do very keenly feel that it's not my place to decide for anyone. But then
Mm.
I remember there was one day you just texted me in the morning, I think the skies are clear. I remember it was something like that. And the fog in my mind is also clear. I've decided how to go forward in this
Yeah.
journey. So yeah, how did that feeling come about, and what all led to it? Yeah.
Exactly like that, Divya. The sky was clear one day. The fog had lifted. We were entering autumn, and from my place, we have this beautiful view of the higher Himalayas, and I could see the Nanda Devi Peak, and things felt simple. I would make a cave from the rajai, and like crawl in inside and take long naps, and I felt like, yeah, I mean, all all the things that I've been thinking, and all the lectures with Divya, like everything started making sense, and we decided, yes, we'll do it at home.
Yeah, lovely. And along this line, there was this wonderful daima that you found there, who I remember at first said, "Oh, you should go to the hospital." No, I'm not going to be doing this. But yeah, how did that, like, you guys took it very beautifully and spoke to her, and
Yeah.
spoke to her fears and grounded them, and yeah.
So once we had decided that, okay, let's do it at home, we found, like, which was simple. I think in the villages, every elder in the family is a daima, if it's a woman. Like, this is not something that one family was taught. This is what women were taught, and the grandmas were daimas. Like, they were helping the younger generation deliver children, and telling them what to eat, what not to eat, what to have on the last days, how to make it simple, how to make you sleep. And this was not knowledge that was coming from this one particular dai. This was something that I would keep hearing from the older women in the village. But then, yeah, I heard about this woman who had delivered 60, 70 kids. And I was like, yeah, I would like to meet her. And she came, and she was like, nahi, hospital jao aap, because of the obvious reasons. Like, um, I am outsider. I have been staying in this village for 7 years now, but I would still be somebody who has come from, outside, and she did not open up to me immediately with her ideas. And slowly and steadily, we made chai, we sat down, I asked her how many children she has. She said, I have 3 children. I was very smart at that time. I did not want like 6 7 children, and I was like, okay. That's cool. And she said, I have delivered around 40 45 children. अपने हाथ से किए हैं हमने. हम तो उल्टे बच्चे को सीधा कर देते हैं, कुछ नहीं होता है. And all of these little things, um, you know that I kept hearing ki, the head is up, then the head will go down. All of these concepts are lost on the village that
Yeah.
is like, very simply speaking, I went to our doctor for a checkup on, I think, 28th week, and she said, oh, the head is up. Okay, okay, that means a breech, baby. So that was the last time that we went to the doctor.
Thank God.
She said, it's a breech, baby. It's okay, it will come down with time, and if it doesn't, then we can just plan a C-sec on 37th week. sh- that was uh, that was what she told me on 28th week, you know and I came home feeling like, why didn't my baby go down, at 28th week. Now I know. And I kept like asking Ashi. I kept doing all of these exercises,
Yeah,
going
inversions and
head over, yeah, heels,
yeah.
let the baby come head down. And then when I spoke to this woman, she was like, the baby goes head down on the last day.
Yes.
What are you talking about? I was like, what? She was like, yeah. She was like, I've never heard. हमारे तो कभी हमने इतने सारे बच्चों का पैर तो कभी आए ही नहीं. वो तो जब दर्द शुरू होता है माँ को, तब सर नीचे जाता है. और एंड शी सेड, पहले सर नीचे जाना तो गलत है, क्योंकि उससे तो माँ को बहुत दर्द होगा. And then I kind of, realized all of a sudden that, oh my God, yes, she's right. If the head kind of goes and fixes itself on, you
Early
know,
on. Hmm.
yeah, early on, then it could be very painful for moms. And what am I doing? I stopped doing all the exercise. Like, this will happen when it
Chill.
will happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, we spoke, and she opened up about some stories. Then she opened up about some really miraculous stories, like of birth, that she has witnessed and she has done. And she spoke like you did. She was like, हम तो बस खड़े हो जाते हैं साइड में, कुछ नहीं करना होता. ये तो सर, आपने तो क्या करना है, बस देखना है माँ को दर्द तो नहीं हो रहा. That's it. And I felt like, okay, this sounds very promising and really nice. And yeah, I started calling her weekly to meet. We started discussing more stories, and I started telling her that yes, we are planning to do it at home. And I was also I did not want to scare her away, so I kind of said कि नहीं, अगर जाना पड़ा तो चले भी जाएंगे, हमारी गाड़ी रेडी है, हम जा भी सकते हैं, पर अगर सब कुछ ठीक होता है तो यहाँ करेंगे. And then this woman, she was seeing me that, I was active, I was going up and down, and she would check my stomach also. She would check it, like she would say, yes, yes, everything looks fine. And she would like kind of do something with her hands. And
That's the Daima's ultrasound. She could tell where the baby is, but she would not tell you at 28 weeks that the baby is breech because it doesn't make sense. That's an information you don't need because majority of babies are going to be at 28 weeks transverse
yeah,
in whichever position they like. They have so much room. They can be wherever they like.
my God, all of these things that they tell women. And why, I don't know why, like,
Operative, like I love that you said throughout they are operating on your mind.
yeah, 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 it's like they're preparing you for this battle, like inside and out, like. And you have to march with them, and it's so regimented, like tuck 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 tuck, and nothing is like how it's supposed to be. So what do you do if you don't take things in your like, I had to take things in,
In your
matter
hands.
in our hands. We had to take matters in our hand because they were going out of control.
Yeah, and not truthful.
Yeah,
And that's a good feedback to bring back. We don't want medical system to go away because it's there for emergencies and we need them.
yeah,
So it's a good balanced point of view that if things don't go well at home, I'll go to the hospital. I'm not averse to the fact of needing a hospital. And but I mean, why do I need to go to a hospital when everything is going well and when it's trying to make me a patient when I'm not?
True.
Yeah.
Like you said that, birth is not a medical event. I've heard you say this many times, and I kind of internalized it. That's what you need to keep telling women. It is not a medical, even if they're going to a doctor, you keep telling them it's not a medical event. It's not a medical, it's something that is happening to your body, like periods, like a lot of things that happen to your bodies, and nobody tells you that. It's always a medical event from day one. Like, you have to do these things. If you don't do this, then the baby might not, just not.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a prediction that we should not be making.
Yeah.
It's There's something beyond us. I mean, there could be everything could be right and you still don't have the baby, and
Hmm.
everything could be wrong and you still have that baby.
Hmm.
It's a soul. It's a soul that has its destiny on earth.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we leave caution to the wind. I'm saying, of course, we take care of everything. You were having this daima come in for your regular checkups when you stopped going to the hospital that frequently, and you had her do things. You had her, do the regular checkups, the midwifery style. So you were taking care of yourself, and
Yes.
yeah. So it's not often when women decide to birth at home. One of the things that comes up in the mainstream media today, especially when more and more women are choosing to stay at home, the problem lies where you spoke about the wrong information, the misconduct of having too many scans, of
Hmm.
calling women too many times to make it a business. It's more like a business than having the woman at the center and her well-being at the center. And so eventually it bears the family down, and they then think, what are we doing? I mean, like you guys did. So the
True.
problem lies there, and not really at the fact that women are reckless. They are not reckless. From
Yeah.
your story, we know that everything you did, you had the information and you
Yes.
took up the decision to get that information, and that's hard work.
I had more information than I needed. Like, I took every bit of information there was. Like, I went ancient way and I went all modern. Like, I saw the things in between also. And then, you know because reckless, Divya, I've never been more careful in my life.
Yes, and that's what we want to tell people. Women are not reckless. They are the women who are more rational, careful, and responsible, which is why they're choosing to birth at home.
Yes, the system is clearly not working for them, so they need to depend on a system that does. And if there is a system that is available and it does work with them, absolutely more women will go towards that system. That system will attract us more.
Yeah. And that was more truthful, that was more ethical, and that gave you more information than anything else did.
Absolutely, your classes, I think, were gave me more information than care. The doctors give you no information, I would say, to say the least. But I read books, and Ashish read books. I was reading all kind of things and listening to all kind of podcasts and trying to understand all kind of you know things happening in the pregnancy and um, pre and postnatal world. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't say a doctor prepared me. No.
And how do you feel about the fact that you are not being prepared for something that you have to do, and everybody, even in the hospital, expects you to do?
Absolutely. Like, and I would say, like, even I don't know where when did the system lost faith on women? The very people who are making it happen, the very people giving birth, the very people who have this happening inside their bodies, everybody has lost their trust on them. Like, the families, the society, the of course the doctors. So if you can't put your trust on the very thing that is going to bring forth birth, then how are you going to survive? Like, where is humanity even going? Like, why would women want to have children? Why? They would not, simply not. Like, simply not have children if you don't trust them with them. I would not do anything if you don't trust me with it.
Yeah,
I think it's not about just having, spiritual thoughts. It's also very modern and feminist in its approach, It's like it's like being robbed of the joy of something so beautiful. It's like being robbed of the strength of something so beautiful because, they are scared you will realize something about yourself
and become powerful and then
and
decide for
become
yourself.
powerful. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very scary, like how they are robbing women of this greatness which birth brings, like this glow that it brings, this joy and this absolute power it brings. Like it's a power trip, you know.
it is transformative.
You having a child, you suddenly become one with nature, Divya. Nothing makes you more natural than, realizing this power of procreating. Nothing. So I never felt more connected to trees, and I never felt more connected to, matar ke dane and tomato than when I became pregnant and started blooming myself. So it's this system is kind of against you, you know. They don't want you to see that the only true, you know, thing about humans, which is natural, is, the power of women to birth.
Yes. That's when you realize that with all the rational learning, planning, living your life on plans, was not really how we were also designed. We're also pretty much mammals like anybody else. We have instinctive thoughts, we have instinctive urges to do things, and when we do them, we realize that yes, that's what we were supposed to do. And
Mhm.
probably it was that simple to listen to that voice within us, and there is a communication that is happening with the bigger, like,
Yeah,
power.
and
And
true. And how your body, it works with you, everything else might be against you, but your body knows and it works with you. And I remember like how I felt every day. I told you, I had a amazing pregnancy, and I felt the most prettiest. I felt the most healthiest. And I felt the most, clear in my thoughts, which I have never felt my entire life. I felt it when I was pregnant, and I had. I must say, like, the doctors, the whole system just doesn't want you to see it, nah. They just don't want you to see the clarity of your own self, the clarity of your own thoughts that you gain. No, you don't think about it. We'll tell you what to do.
yeah, and I think they are heavily devoid of it. A lot of women working in the medical system have been they're in such a patriarchal system as it is so
Mm.
patriarchal that they have been devoid of connecting with themselves. Do you have pain in your periods? Pop a pill. What's happening at the spiritual level? We do not know. The phases of the cycles, it's just the phases that you read in textbooks. It's again become so logical. And I often say, like you were saying, the sense of clarity, the sense of high in pregnancy, the sense of joy in pregnancy, things rarely worry you when you're just so within, like you're just left alone, like you were saying. And and that change, so it's a state of ovulation, wherein we do say that women are on a high. They are so joyous from within them. They have a different energy. They have a brain that's changed. And then you have it for 9 months when you're creating life. And then the magic of feeling the baby within you, the
Mhm.
movements, the turns, I mean, sometimes you speak to the baby and you know the baby is responding. Sometimes when you stop speaking to the baby and you're talking to someone else, the baby probably just quiets down. There's so many different things you see within yourself that probably you don't even share it with everyone.
So, so personal at so many levels, because, it is so your, it's your experience, and it is so intimate. Like, you don't even want to share it with everyone, nah?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of it. But from here on, Kriti, I think I'll take another hour and then go deep dive into the experience of labor and birth. And when is it that the daima said, okay, I'm ready to come, let's do it together? And she was wonderful during your birth, from what I heard from you and Ashish, and it was such a beautiful experience for you with her also as a team.
Definitely.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Divya.
There is a field beyond fear, where the body is empowered to take on labor and birth. To land there, it is crucial to take birth education. To enroll into our unique labor and birth preparation course, reach out to us at www.birthagni.com or scroll through all available prenatal and postnatal preparation classes. Thank you for listening, all in the spirit of birth, womanhood, and freedom. Remember, you got the bar. This podcast is about physiological birth and does not offer or claim to provide medical knowledge or diagnosis. Starting a podcast with poor recording tools in the market? It was painful until I found Zencaster. Its high quality audio and video recording, along with the option of a backup, makes it super sturdy and a savior at times. With an easy to use dashboard and super convenient tools for advertising campaigns such as reels and videos, Zencaster is my comfort choice. Go to zencaster.com/pricing and use my code BIRTHAGNI, BIRTHAGNI, and you will get 30% off of your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. You may also explore their free hobbyist plan to begin with.